Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys about a technique that you can use called stack and add zeros when trying to order decimals from least to greatest or greatest to least. Now, as you can see, I have 5 different decimals. Now, what you'll notice about them is the way they're arranged makes it difficult to accurately compare them. So what I want to do first is stack them on top of each other. So the first number is 5. The second one, 5 and 5/100ths. Next would be 5 and 1/10, 5 and 755 thousandths, and finally 5 and 20/100ths. Now, by stacking them and making sure all the place value is aligned, by using that the decimal place, things are going to be a lot easier. Now, that very first number 5, it actually does have a hidden decimal that's kind of invisible. So when you're dealing with decimals, you might want to actually put that in. Actually, it would be very wise. The next thing you notice is that all of these decimals are a little bit different. Notice some of them are, have hundredths, some have tenths, some have thousandths. So you want to locate the one that has the greatest number of decimal place values, which is this one right here. So let's just turn all the other decimals into decimals that have thousandths as well. Now, when I add zeros to the thousandths, that doesn't change anything. 5 or 5.000, they're both equivalent. Same with the next one. I just add a 0 there. So that's 5 and 50 thousandths, which is equivalent to 5 and 5/100ths. Okay, and adding the zeros here and here. Now, when you look at that, everything looks like the same type of decimal. Now it's going to be really easy for us to compare. When I look at you always want to start by looking at the greatest place value. So that would be the ones. When I look at it, they all start with 5, so that's not really going to help me out. Then I look at the next place value, which is the tenths. Now, we want to order these from least to greatest, okay? So which one would be the one with the least amount? Well, why don't we just look at the whole decimal? This one has nothing in it. Everything else has something in it. For example, this one has 50, this one has 100, this one has 755 and 200. So it's clear to me that this would be the least. Okay, so let's just cross that off our list. Next, would you say that 50 thousandths, 100 thousandths, 755 thousandths, or 200 thousandths would be the lesser amount? Well, 50 is the least amount. So 5 and 5/100ths would be the next. Next, well, I can notice that the 100 is the next least amount. So 5 and 1/10. Next would be right here. So 5 and 20/100ths. And finally, we have the 5 and 755 thousandths. Notice that when I wrote these down, I tried my best to write them as close to the original numbers, right? So the technique here is to stack them and then add those zeros like we did right here, adding that 0, adding a couple of zeros there, so that they all are a part of the thousandths. So it's easier to actually approach them. So that is the stack and add zeros technique for comparing decimals and ordering them.